sure what took out. It's possible he maybe shaved a land. I mean, with 24 of them, maybe you can do that. But I think the mana advantage, as we saw there, is really crucial in this matchup.
Right. The only land I'd be comfortable cutting would be a Grove of the Burn Willows, because if the game goes long, you should have it. But as we saw there, he had 3 in play, so that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, and I mean, Grove Fire is just so good in this matchup. You want to be able to find it as consistently as you can.
Right. I don't think cutting a land would be the right play here.
Yeah, I would not. I mean, I never cut lands. Seriously, play more lands. Lands are so good. And Gerry, once again, 24 lands. I can't remember the last time I saw a legacy deck like this with 24 lands.
Right.
I'm so glad that Gerry did this.
1 Cascade Bluffs, which is really interesting. Seeing the Eventide land come into play here.
So we've seen Fetid Heath today,
Yep.
Cascade Bluffs. Have we seen No Wooded Bastion, though?
No, nothing like that.
Did we see Mystic Gate? Some Blue decks? I don't think so.
No, Brandon Nelson needed a Mystic Gate really badly.
Used the Mystic
That's
Gate.
about it. So from Jason, we saw Spell Pierces.
Yeah, so I think that was good to bring in, but Pyroblast seems pretty good in this matchup, too. I mean, Pyroblast deals with quite a bit, although it just depends on kind of what you want to hit.
Right. Like we were talking about before, Pyroblast can hit Vendilion Click. Spell Pierce cannot.
It can kill an onboard Jace, which is a big deal.
That's very huge.
It can't hit Sensei's top, whereas Spell Pierce can.
Right, but with Gerry on the play, hitting top's pretty unlikely.
It can also hit a resolved counterbalance, too, which is very relevant. Sometimes you'll just run out of counterbalance there early without a top in play.
Right. Not a bad play in the mirror. So we'll see. They're drawing their 7.
All right, players going into game 3. Let's see who wins here.
And Jason on the play this game, of course, since he lost the last one. And he will mulligan.
Back. Gerry seems content with his hand.
So how important are mulligans in the counterbalance mirror, or any control mirror for that matter?
I mean, mulligans are always important in any kind of control mirror match. I mean, you look at this mirror, and you know, you have cards like Force of Will where you're losing cards. I will say that Sensei's Divining Top does make mulligans hurt a little less.
Right.
On the flip side, if you have a top and you really need to resolve it, you're going to have less opportunities to have drawn a Force of Will or something of that nature.
That's true. Although I don't think we saw either player with a Force of Will in game 2, did we?
No, we did not. I mean, maybe you're supposed to board them out. I haven't played this matchup. I wouldn't know. I know that in a lot of matchups you are, because it's a 2-for-1 at control mirror, etc. But it just seems like fighting counterbalance and top is so important. I mean, if you just force a turn 1 top, you generated yourself such a gigantic advantage.
Right.
But Alanze, here we go.
With Jason with the top of this game on turn 1, looking at a counterbalance and a brainstorm, I believe. Not sure about the third.
He does see a counterbalance, and that's certainly not a bad start for Jason.
Yeah. There's a Delver, which will come down.
Ooh, man. Yeah, Delver in play. And he set it up so the top card of his deck is instant or sorcery, correct?
I believe so. Gerry, it looks like, does have the Grove. I see a couple red cards. One might be Punishing Fire to assemble the combo. And I imagine we'll see him fire that Delver right away.
Todd Anderson, quick to point out, he's played 24 lands in his bug control deck, so he's not alone.
No stranger to many lands.
I mean, I love lands. He plays so many good lands nicely. All right, Gerry bolts that
it.
Delver, making sure it doesn't flip.
Yep. So unlikely he has a Punishing Fire there. Yep. Pyroblast is his other red card.
Okay. That'll help fight counterbalance potentially, although with the top in play, it's going to be very difficult to Pyroblast it.
Right.
Grove of the Burn Willows coming down for Gerry Thompson.
And he ships it back.
Yep. See if Jason changes his top card. I don't think he will. I think he'll just draw and draw and pass. Or draw, play land.
Interesting to note that Gerry has a counterbalance but can't play it because of that Grove too.
All right, there's a Tarmogoyf from Jason.
Perhaps trying to bait out a Spell Snare.
Really wants to resolve counterbalance top.
Right. Oh, Gerry has a Crozen Grip in hand.
Ooh.
So that would be able to break up that combo unless Jason has a Lucky Blood Moon on top of his deck.
Now, I think you normally go for the top out of those two cards, right?
That I'm not sure about. It really depends on the board state, but generally top is the more powerful card.
Yeah, I mean, counterbalance does things, but top is just generates such an advantage. Top will also help you find another counterbalance.
Right. Top going long is more powerful than counterbalance going long.
All right, so Gerry brainstorms in response. Sees a Spell Snare on top, which you can't cast because of the Grove of the Burn Willows.
Pesky Grove.
Some lands. I'll put him back on top. And it looks like Tarmogoyf is likely to resolve.
Yep, even if Gerry has a Force of Will, I don't see him using it on a Tarmogoyf here.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this certainly put Gerry kind of behind the gun.
Yep, I think that card all the way to the left might be a Jace.
That resolves. Gerry draws a Spell Snare, plays a Scalding Tarn for effect. Oh, puts the Scalding Tarn back after nearly snapping it down. We'll see if he plays that. Oh, plays Misty Rainforest instead, shuffling his library.
Yep, not sure what he's going to go for here. Maybe it'll be that counterbalance, taking advantage of Jason's tapped out state. But he fetches up a Trop.
And Tropical Island comes down.
Yep. One card we haven't seen is Blood Moon, a card we thought would be very important. Could be that Jason just didn't bring him in.
Yeah, it might be. He just felt like Grove Fire wasn't as important as establishing Counterbalance, because Counterbalance top does help fight Grove Fire pretty sufficiently.
That's true. So leaving one up for days is Gerry Thompson as he casts Counterbalance. And just resolves. This, though, gives Jason the opportunity to resolve his. And let's see if there's a 2-drop on top of Gerry's deck.
Oh, man. All right, there's a Counterbalance. Flip.
Oh,
Burn Willows. The blind flips are always so exciting. Pyroblast.
Oh.
You can have a life, says Gerry. I'm going to Pyroblast your Counterbalance.
A good trade.
A fair trade. You can have a life, indeed. Oh, wow, and that resolves.
And now Gerry's going to be able to untap and cast a
Jace.
Jace, bouncing the Tarmogoyf.
I can't help but feel like Gerry kind of laid a trap for Jason there. You look over, you see Grove of the Burn Willows, you think the coast is clear.
Right.
Bam, Pyroblast.
Exactly. Now, Jason likely saw him in his sideboard, but there was not much he could do. Just had to tap out for it.
Untaps.
Hope it stuck.
And draws that Grove that he knew was on top of his deck. And Jace with Counterbalance might not be no top in Counterbalance, but it's still a reasonable combo.
Still not bad.
Although I think he's probably just going to bounce the Goyf here.
I think so. Not sure about the power on the Goyf, but I have to think that that's the play.
Yeah, going to bounce that Goyf. And now he's really hoping for a 2 on top of his deck.
If he hits a 2, this game is very nearly over.
All right, Jason's going to top in his upkeep, digging for lands. Oh, does he not find a land there? Oh, I think, is that a Volcanic Island? Oh, no. I think it's 2 bolts and a daze.
That's fine, though. That'll allow him to shoot down the Jace, provided Gerry does not have a 1 on top.
I mean, you have to bolt the Jace.
Yeah, there's really no other play here.
Bolt the Jace. What's on top of your library, Gerry?
Oh, Gerry
Island.
Goes 0 for 2 on blind counterbalance flips.
Although, look at how much that Jace still did. Bounce the Tarmogoyf, force him to use a bolt, set Jason back on tempo pretty handily.
And now, if he can find a top or even a Brainstorm, that Tarmogoyf's unlikely to resolve again.
All right.
So, Jason.
Taps 2.
Just about to test his luck again against the blind counterbalance.
Man, he's been doing well against those so far. All right, there's Tarmogoyf. What's the counterbalance?
Oh,
Spells?
Ironically, a Spell Snare on top.
Will not counter a 2-drop this time around. And Gerry also knows he's drawing a Spell Snare next. Although I guess he has Scalding Tarn play to shuffle that away if he wants to.
Right.
Spell Snare is the Tarmogoyf. And I think he probably wants to keep the Spell Snare, right?
I think so, too, especially with the opponent on 2 land.
Right.
Jason can't land a Jace.
Right.
Doesn't have to worry about that.
Right. And any Tarmogoyf or counterbalance cards that Jerry's probably most worried about right now.
Right.
Spell Snare counters both of them.
Interesting that Gerry's not Croson gripping that top. Might be saving that for a Blood Moon.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't want to get blown out. Blood Moon would pretty much crush his mana base right now. So there's a Brainstorm revealing Pyroblast. Gerry finally gets a free counter spell. Yep. It's kind of like a delayed counter spell, I suppose.
Gerry just accruing marginal advantages here.
Draws the Pyroblast.
And Gerry will probably just be content to sit behind his wall of land and counterbalance.
Gerry might feel like if Jason is stuck on 2 lands, he might have kept a Blood Moon, a hand with Blood Moon in it, which is why he thinks he still has it there. Otherwise, I think he probably would have hit the top a long time ago.
I think so, too. Though top for Jason hasn't done much, he has not found many fetch lands. And continues to whiff. Simply just casts a Delver.
All right. Gerry's going to probably be like, what's on top of my library?
Let's see.
He'll
certainly shuffle that one away.
Yeah, it's like a mini Brainstorm. This counterbalance doing good work.
Yep.
I think he's going to Pyroblast here? Probably not.
I don't think so. The fact that he has so many Punishing Fires left in his deck.
Yeah, he's got a lot he can find with that Scalding Tarn.
Right.
I mean, he gets a land with the Scalding Tarn. Probably just basic island, I think, here. Oh, it goes for Tropical Island.
Wow, that's really
Volcanic
surprising.
Island. And he just has so many live cards left. You can find Punishing Fire.
Yeah, a lot of cards are great for Gerry. He can draw top, he can draw Punishing Fire, he can draw Jace, even a Tarmogoyf would be great. Just anything but a land Jerry's looking for.
Yeah. I mean, way to fight that Delver would be nice, but it's really not that crucial right now. A Jace would just be the absolute card he wants the most.
Right.
Another counterbalance.
Oh, man.
If he has a fetch line, that gives him a little bit of play, but not that strong. He keeps it. I would rather save it for force potentially.
Maybe, or to put it back with a Brainstorm.
Right.
I imagine we'll see him cast it if he draws another fetch land.
Although putting it back with the Brainstorm is certainly relevant. All right, so Delver transforms into a 3/2, and Jason draws another Brainstorm.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how many hits Gerry takes from that Delver before he Pyroblasts it.
All right, well, certainly taking one. Just took this 3 right here, going down to 10. Gerry just has so many outs at this point. Punishing Fire.
Right.
A Jace.
So a ton of things will put a clock on Jason.
Top.
A top would be very good. Another Spell Snare.
Another Spell Snare.
Not what he needs.
Gerry wants to see. Do you think you Pyroblast now, or do you think you just keep being patient?
Well, Jason has already used one Lightning Bolt, and Gerry knows that there are only 3 in his deck. So at the very least, if he has the last 2 Lightning Bolts, Jerry's virtually at 1. So I think maybe he just plays it safe and Pyroblast here.
And of course, there's also Grim Lavamancer to potentially be concerned about too.
That's right too.
I like Pyroblasting here, even though it kind of sucks you already took 3. But yeah, I would Pyroblast here, and Gerry does. Just you can't afford to take so much damage from that Delver.
Right. Gerry knows that if he, the longer he makes the game go, the better chance he has of winning.
Yeah, I mean he's just so far ahead. He just doesn't want to accidentally die to Delver of Secrets and Lightning Bolts,
Yeah.
So Jason finally hits his 3rd land drop. Gerry draws another Grove of the Burn Wells.
Gerry just brick after brick, though he has a lot of play. No Tarmogoyfs will be resolving.
I think I might have played that Grove. I know he wants cards to put back with Brainstorm, but the mana is actually pretty relevant if he draws Punishing Fire, just trying to do things like Corrosive Grip plus other stuff.
Right.
I thought he had another land in his hand, maybe not. All right. If he doesn't have another land, then yeah, that's right.
Ooh,
Reveals Brainstorm on Jason's Brainstorm, and that Brainstorm is huge. It allowed him to not only dig further into his deck, but set up his counterbalance, which is a big deal. I guess Gerry doesn't have another land in his hand, in which case I like keeping that Grove.
Right, and he will not be casting this Brainstorm, I don't think.
I think he's just going to wait until Jason casts a spell.
Yeah, he has a counterbalance in hand and a 1-drop, so he can counter any 1 or 2 on command right now.
And there's that Grove from Gerry T.
So Brainstorm land, and not sure what the top card is, but it's good enough to draw.
And he draws it. It's Scalding Tarn.
Right? He really
Jason
wants
just trying to build his mana.
Yep. Once that 4th land, looks like the hand is Dismember. That might be a Daze, Lightning Bolt, and Ponder. So Jason casts a Ponder.
Ponder down.
Daring Gerry to use that Brainstorm.
Do you think you'd gun the Brainstorm if you were Gerry?
I think I'd let him have the Ponder here. I think Gerry really wants to wait for a fetch land with that Brainstorm. Shuffle away the extra counterbalance. Shuffle away a land, maybe.
Gerry's certainly thinking about it. Oh, he's like, all right, counterbalance trigger.
Ooh,
Reveals Punishing Fire. That is going to start to deal some damage. Jason at 21, but Gerry can Punishing Fire twice a turn.
Can he kill a Tarmogoyf with Punishing Fire at this point?
I don't think so. I think there's a Jason in the graveyard. I doubt it.
Right.
I mean, we have instant, sorcery, land, creature, planeswalker.
Enchantment, maybe.
Enchantment,
even?
yeah. There's no way he's killing a Tarmogoyf.
Maybe a few more lands. Not yet.
He does have Triple Grove, so he can eventually do that. Assuming he doesn't get Blood Moon. That's kind of the nightmare for Gerry.
Yep, and Gerry says go.
Right, and now Gerry can just hold that Brainstorm. He's got Punching Fire. He's doing 2 a turn. He already has, massive inevitability on Jason. He just has to not let the game slip out of his fingers. He'll find a top at some point, too, and at that point, he can really set things up with counterbalance.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about before, top, Jace, all these cards are very good for Gerry.
Agreed. Michael Warenzik asks on Twitter, you said Gerry knows Jason only has 3 bolts. How does he know? And it's because, they see each other's deck lists in the top 8.
They have full access to the deck list and sideboard.
So they know what their opponent could have.
Yep, pretty much to prevent any scouting from being a huge issue.
Right. You don't want someone who has more friends than somebody else having a huge advantage. It's already a problem during the Swiss, during the top 8.
Right.
It's just a problem.
So Jason in a tough spot. What's his game plan from here on out?
I mean, Jason has a good hand. He's got a couple Tarmogoyfs, Brainstorm, Lightning Bolt, I think Dismember too. He's just kind of concerned about the Brainstorm in Gerry's hand.
Right. So Gerry is just going to flip again, revealing a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, so Jason goes for Brainstorm. Jerry flips over Tarmogoyf
Right.
on the counterbalance, allowing Jason to Brainstorm it up.
I mean, at this point, Jerry is just worried about so little. Worried about Tarmogoyfs, but not really even because he has 2 Spell Snares in hand. Every other creature he can kill. So it seems like it's only a matter of time for Jerry. 2 Blood Moons would help Jason a lot right now, but it's unclear if he even has them in his deck.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in game 2 or 3.
Grim Lavamancer in Jason's hand, not going to do much.
Oh, there's the Lavamancer. I mean, if it resolves, it's going to do quite a bit, but I don't think Jerry's going to let that resolve.
Well, he does have the Punishing Fire.
Oh, right, the Punishing Fire. Agreed. Yeah, that's dead as dead as. All right, so Jerry Punishing Fires Jason, picks it back up with a Grove, Punishing Fires him again, and then will likely pick it back up with a Grove.
Yeah, and it's going to be a slow, painful death for Jason.
Punishing Fire, indeed. What could possibly make a counterbalance match even more slower and grindy? Punishing Fire. Let's add that in.
Dealing 1 a turn with the fire. So Jerry with a full grip, 8 cards, I think. So he's probably going to move to his discard step here, discarding the fire, or maybe casting a Tarmogoyf. We'll see.
Kind of like casting a Tarmogoyf here.
Yeah, I think at this point Jerry just is not afraid of anything.
Yeah, you just want to get your beat on. Although Jerry has an inevitability, you don't really want to find a way for Jason to get back in the game.
Right. He always needs to keep 3 mana up for Crows and Grip, but aside from that, that's going to be it.
All right. Taps 1.
I don't think that Dismember is enough to
Dismember's
kill
a
that
Tarmogoyf.
Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I don't think that is either. I think Jerry's like, well, let's count graveyards.
So, Planeswalker,
I think it's a
instant
5/6.
sorcery land, creature for sure, and if there's a counterbalance in play, that will not kill it. And, oops.
That's kind of awkward. I mean, Jerry's not even going to flip the counterbalance. I'm not even going to flip the counterbalance. I guess maybe just doesn't have 3s.
Right. It looks like Jerry might have cited out Vendilion Click.
Yeah. You also might just not want to give the information.
Right.
What's on top of his library. Okay, Tarmogoyf down for Jason.
Should see a Spell Snare here from Jerry. Or, well, first he'll try and blind flip.
Oh, Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's a good one.
Yep.
Man. And then, yeah, Jerry's going to Spell Snare. Yeah, that Dismember was pretty bad for Jason for a lot of reasons. Just went down to 16. Wasted a card. He's going to Pyroblast that Spell Snare.
Yeah, and at this point, all he has left is a Daze and a Land, or a Daze and a Lightning Bolt, rather.
Wow, yeah, his hand is just demolished, and Jerry's got a full hand.
Yeah, that counterbalance, though no top in play, blind countered, I think, 2 spells. And that is a lot.
Yeah, Counterbalance is a weird card on its own, because you really just never know what's going to happen. You kind of just play into it sometimes.
Right.
All right, so Jerry organizing the stack since he was going on there. Pyroblast on Spell Snare on Tarmogoyf, and Jerry is going to Brainstorm. Okay. So he hasn't revealed the Pyroblast yet for Counterbalance, and I imagine he's going to put a 1 back on top so that Pyroblast is countered.
Yep, get the free card.
Sounds about right.
Trade Spell Snare for Pyroblast and Tarmogoyf, putting himself even further ahead. And after that, he'll untap, attack Jason, play Jace, and
then I think Jerry should have it.
Yep.
Jerry lost game 1, but fought back pretty handily.
Now, we thought that Jason would be favored after sideboard with the Blood Moon, but that's not the plan he chose to go with, it looks like. Just chose to try and out-control Jerry.
And Jerry clearly worried about Blood Moon. He's held on to that Croson grip all game,
Right.
just living in fear. All right, Jerry puts 2 cards back. Flips off Counterbalance. It's a Spell Snare. What a surprise.
Sorry, Pyroblast.
And everything goes awry for Jason at this point.
Yep.
Passes back to Jerry. Punishing Fire you. Rebuy Punishing Fire. By the way, meet my friend Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Better than all.
Jerry plays a Scalding Turn. Probably going to crunch in with that Tarmogoyf. And then deploy his secret weapon. It's not a secret weapon, perhaps.
The finisher.
Jace.
So, thinking about this, though, trying to think of any way that he could possibly lose this game.
Right, I think a lot of players would just, attack and snap the Jace down, but he's trying to figure out, what lands to tap, what he wants us to leave up, and there he goes, the Jace. Make sure to leave up Croson Grip in case things go terribly awry.
Right.
Blood Moon, I guess, could maybe beat him.
Blood Moon would actually probably be good for Jerry right now, but he's not taking any chances, just in case.
Yep, exactly.
Jason checks his graveyard. Trying to figure out where things went wrong here.
And Jerry's going to fate seal Jason. Changes the order of his cards. Interesting. All right, shows the card to Gerry. Gerry says, yeah, it's all yours.
Enjoy, buddy.
Yeah, fate sealing versus an active top. Not so impressive.
Yep. So top again on upkeep. Change the order again.
Draw a new card.
Yeah, and Jason concedes.
Yeah, he sees it. There's no way out of that for him.
Gerry moves to the quarters in what was a tight counterbalance mirror match. We thought Jason would have the edge there, but turns out Gerry in the sideboard games takes it down.
Gerry on to the semifinals. Great stuff by Gerry Thompson. I love this take on the red counterbalance stack. Those punishing fires are just excellent.
Very, very cool.